Forward to our custom stream. I forgot to even check to see if I believe that we are live. It's like every time that I do this, it's like everything just gets so slow over here. You know, it's like my internet just. To our. See, I'm making everything go crazy over here. Sorry about that, but we are live. We are live. We are live. All right, welcome everybody. My name is Sean Symons, also known as PPG Grandpa. You're watching us live now at ClearPropTV.com. If you want to listen to us, you can always go over to paratalk.org. Let's look in the chat real quick. Man, look at all the people in the chat. We got Walter from Australia. What's up, buddy? Eric, PPG Lear, Deweese Milstead, Mad Sloper. A bunch of people are talking. We also got PPG, the other Nick. What's up? We got Will Fly, Brian Waller, and JP Tulo. John Wayne's in the house. Paramotor NC, Aaron I, the PPG guy, Bill H, and they keep on rolling in. I am so happy that you guys are here. Welcome to the show. Like I said, my name is Sean Symons, PPG Grandpa. This is going to be a great evening. Like we normally do, we're going to introduce everybody here on the panel. We'll start over here with Will Fly from willflyppg.com. What's up, buddy?
Hey. Still down with the bum leg, but a few more weeks of recovery and we'll be flying again.
Man, you had the crud, you had a bum leg. What? I mean, man, but you did post a video.
Yeah, I did. I had plenty of time.
That's awesome. So where can we go to find your crazy paramotor shenanigans?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube under Will Fly or check out willflyppg.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on the panel tonight. All right. We also got Brian Haybill Waller. What's up, Brian Haybill?
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the show.
Why does everybody call you Haybill?
Well, I had an infamous moment. I was a new pilot. And I kicked the hay bale, turned my foot sideways, made a Tucker Got crash review video. Never a good thing, probably, but I still fly the hay bales as often as I can. I'm just better at missing them.
That's awesome. And how can we find all your fun, interesting paramotor shenanigans?
Yeah, you can check me out at ppgbrian.com on YouTube and watch some of my videos, some of my shenanigans.
Awesome.
If you want to see that ankle incident, it's on there.
Ooh, definitely go there. Check it out. Hit that subscribe and hit that bell notification. I'm sure he's going to be posting some more cool stuff. Thank you, Brian, for being on the show.
Absolutely.
And we also got JP Tulo. We also call him TikTok Tulo. He's got 2.5 million views on one of his videos. What was that one all about, bud?
Oh, just a goofy cat video, swatting the peanuts down there. But yeah, I just like to make short clips. Short clips are easier to edit and makes it nice to go back and watch later on. Paramotor videos, pet videos, whatever, RC stuff, you name it. But yeah, I love hanging out with you guys. Happy to be here.
Awesome. So how do we get up with you and find out what you do on TikTok, Mr. TikTok Tulo?
jptulo.com. JP Tulo on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and the Facebook.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know that you could be doing anything else, but you're here with us, so we appreciate you. We also got the Flying Flamingo Jade. She also has a paramotor show all about girls and their flying shenanigans. Welcome, Jade. Tell us a little bit about your show that goes on Wednesday nights.
Hey, happy Monday, everyone. This week on Girls Just Want to Fly, we have a gal named Sin Curry. She's from the West Coast area between California and Moab, Utah. And she owns her own school called Raven Wolf Sky Sports. And she does everything from kiteboarding that Eric and I have tried and like, to motorcycling, to paragliding, to paramotoring, to wingsuit flying. So I'm really interested in hearing her story on how she does everything and where she's doing everything and different countries she's gone to.
Awesome. And how do we go and find out where that is on the
You
internet?
can go to paramotorgirl.com and find the show Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central.
All right. And your husband also has a show on Tuesday night. Quickly throw out that interesting show.
Sure. He helps Never Trust a Skinny Chef Shane out the 2nd through the 4th Tuesday of the month. And it's Tuesday night hangouts, and Will Fly and Brian are also on there, and they do a good job just hanging out on Tuesday nights, talking about different things with paramotoring.
Awesome.
This week they do have a good show, like every other show they have, but they are having the Resurgence on. Be a good show.
Awesome. And you can find him at ppglear, lear.com. If you haven't gone there, make sure you go there and hit that subscribe and that bell notification so you know what's going to be popping up next. So thank you so much for being on the panel, Jade.
Thank you.
All right. We also got paramomusa.com, our very own Linda Anderson with her mute on so we can't hear her cheer. You got to unmute, girl. There we go.
Hey, everybody.
There's
Welcome,
the cheer, girl.
Welcome, I guess. I have to say your name right. Daniel. Just Daniel.
Daniello.
Okay. All right. Welcome.
Thank
I'm
you.
just super excited to be here on Monday nights. You know me. I get on here and I'm all psyched up and psyched out and everything else. And I'm just happy to be with everybody and have my chatters going. And it's all good. And if you guys want to find me, you want to be a guest on the show, just look up paramomusa.com, or you can find me on Thursday nights, paraglidingtalk.com with my awesome son, host with the most, Robert Michaels. And or you can find me all week just hanging out on all the shows. So there you go.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Linda. We always appreciate you. And
Nice.
I'm sure that you all know she's our PR girl. If you want to be on the show, just get up with Linda Anderson. You go to paramomusa.com. That actually forwards to her Facebook page. Just messenger and say, hey, I want to be on PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast, ClearPropTV.com or paratalk.org. Maybe not that fast, but you can do it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Linda. We appreciate you. We also got our friend from Canada, Jim. What's up, buddy?
Hey, doing good. Staying cool.
I bet you're staying cool. You're the only guy I know that has money that smells like maple syrup. I just can't wait to go there and smell some of your amazing money over there,
Sounds good. If I come down there, I'll bring you some.
Bring some loonies and toonies, right? That's what it's all about. Hey, you also make some decals.
Yes. Make stickers and decals and whatnot.
And you also
printing.
And you also helped us out making our paramotorcalendar.com, and we appreciate that. If people want to go and check out your stuff and get some things made, decals, decals as you call them, stickers, etc., or calendars, how do we get up with you?
You can reach me through carepp.com. That's CAREPP.com.
And if we want to see your crazy paramotor shenanigans,
CarePPG.com.
That's awesome. Thank you, buddy. I'm so glad that you're on the show.
Thank you.
But it's not about us. It's not about us. It's not about the panel members. Today, it's all about Danielo Mendes. He is our guest tonight, and he has some amazing stories that he's going to tell you. But first of all, let's go ahead and introduce Danielo. He's a paramotor pilot. Thank you very much, and welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, thank you for having me. Super excited. First time in the live show with the paramotor community. So yeah, excited to make it happen.
Awesome. So just so everybody knows more about you, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into paramotoring.
I mean, long story short, I grew up in the village in France back when I was, in my teenage, and it's called Laragne. I'll probably type it down somewhere, but it's one of the places where they have huge competition, international competition for paragliding and hang gliding. And obviously there's some paramotor. They used to land literally like across the street from my house. and I didn't think anything of it. And then, fast forward like 15 years later, a little bit more, I was watching some videos on YouTube here and there. Decided to 6 years ago, decided to kind of like get into the sport. It was hard to find classes back then. I couldn't find anything that was, was work and all the stuff that where I could make it work. I was like, oh, I saw a couple of videos about self-training. We'll get into it, I'm sure, at some point. Anyway, decided to do that. Did some basic research. Wasn't enough, but I ended up finding a wing on Craigslist and a motor. Purchased everything. Spent about 5 months kiting and all the stuff, and then finally went on from our first flight. And here I am, like almost 6 years later, running a school. And yeah, so quite interesting.
That's awesome. And over on your channel, if you don't know, guys, I put his link and information down below. You might want to check out his YouTube videos. On his YouTube videos, it says "living for a living." I guess that's your motto.
Yeah. I'm 100% based on that. Just for many reasons, I like to go with that thinking. Just because of I lost people in my life when I was younger. I lost my best friend out of nowhere when I moved here. And it's just like my mom got sick with a final stage cancer. So it was like all those things happening at once. It kind of makes you change a little bit how you see life. And so I decided, to kind of like go for whatever feels right when it comes to, life in general. And it's like living for a living and not just, working and feeling bad about so many aspects of your life. Just kind of like trying to embrace everything, even if it's not exactly what it will be, like in my dreams, like, when it comes to many things, like it can be work or some stuff like that back then. But I try to aim for that, what feels good from the moment I wake up to the moment I go back to, I go to sleep. So that's pretty much what I want to aim for on a daily.
And it says Danielo STAYBAD. What's STAYBAD mean?
So the STAYBAD thing comes from when I was normally I'm a dancer. Formerly, I'm a dancer. I've been dancing my whole life. I used to be on tour. We did 54 countries for like 6 years nonstop, traveling all over the place. And I used to teach instructors. So new school will hire me, and there was a school in Austria that hired me for 6 months. I was there just kind of helping them and in like training the trainers, the instructors. And at the end of the trip, they made a book for me saying, with a bunch of pictures from our training for 6 months, saying that I was bad, born a dancer, and telling me to stay bad. And so anyway, we kept on that. I started doing some merch around it. It worked. And then, comes about 5 years ago when I stopped dancing. I wasn't dancing as much, and I started doing a bunch of like trips overseas and adventure stuff, like hiking in China and all those crazy places. We turned that into beyond any definitions. So it's the STAYBAD, bad meaning beyond any definition. So then it just ended up being just that name by itself. And I just use it for the paramotor school that I have now.
We're looking right now at your Instagram. I think it's JP that pulled it up for us. Are you able to see the screen, or are you on the phone?
Yeah, I see it.
All right. So what are we looking at right now?
This is Oxnard, California. It's one of my students doing his first wingtip touch, which a lot of people had a major problem with it. But yeah, it's one of the classes that I have because I don't know if you guys kind of got time to see, but my classes last, I would say, a couple months, where student keeps coming back every week, and we fly different locations, and we get to kind of I just put them in 2 different situations so they can experience different LZ, different, airspace and all the stuff. So that's one of the locations that we do. He already had probably 15 flights under his belt after training, and that's just one of the flights that we did. And then we agreed on doing that first and all the stuff. But that's what you see.
Okay, and you said that you had your school for a year and a half. Is that correct?
No, about a year. I was teaching before. Like when people come and like friends of mine say, "Oh, can you teach me?" And I'll just like, "All right, fine. I'll help you out," because it's still no school. It wasn't even me teaching or making money out of it, because I was just kind of helping my friends out. And when I saw that it was something I was enjoying, I was like, yeah, maybe I should just kind of see if I can push a little further. And so I got in touch with Noah at Epic Paramotor. He wanted me to do some work for him and shoot one of his trainings. So I went there and did a bunch of videos for his school. And then at the same time, I took extra days to do my instructor course with him and get my USPPA rating.
I'm looking at your wing, and it says STAYBAD. How much did it cost to you? I mean, that was that made like that? Was that an add-on, or how'd you make that? It looks really awesome.
So here's one of the cool part about, I feel like through my entire life, I always been doing like videos and creating content and, like Photoshop and all this fun stuff. And then every time I would work with, I would buy gear, I would reach out to that brand like, hey, this is what I do. I can create content, whatever. And so eventually when I first started flying, when I wanted to purchase my new wing, which was a Niviuk, I contacted Niviuk. Hey, this is what I do. Do you want to just use my content for your website? And that's it. I don't want anything in exchange. Like, oh, would you be interested to be part of the, our team pilot and adventure team? I'm like, yup, that would be awesome. And so that's how I started. And so I first purchased my new wing was a Link to back then. And then at some point I wanted to upgrade. And then so they helped me out. So I paid for the wing, but they offered me to get a color and custom logo. So it's sewn in. It's not a sticker. It's like it's custom made, which you can do with any wing you order through them. But yeah, so I got the chance to have them help me out with that. So I just had to pay for the price of the wing, which is about 3,600 back then, before I become a dealer and everything.
Wow, that is awesome. And that picture, for those of you that are listening to our show, you got to go over to ClearPropTV.com and watch this, or go over to his STAYBAD Paramotor on Instagram. His picture, his video, he's flying right in front of the moon, and the moon is huge. Now, was that added in, or is that the real moon?
I have the video. I'll be posting it soon. A friend of mine, his name is Frank. He has this like, I don't know, probably like $15,000 setup, and he comes here and there. And that's how I met him. I was flying at the beach, and one day he took pictures of me, and then we kept in touch on Instagram. And I was like, hey, I'm going back this week. You want to come? And he came by, and then we're on the radio. He's like, all right, I did probably 15 passes. It's hard to see from his perspective, like if I'm too low, if I'm too high, if I'm like too far in, too far out. So yeah, I have a full video of it, or me trying to chat with him, trying to see, okay, do I do a pass lower or higher? So there's no Photoshop at all whatsoever. Zero.
Awesome. I think there's a question in the chat. Will?
Oh, he's muted.
I must have missed it. I was fascinated with that wing, and that is freaking awesome. So I'm sorry I missed it. I was sleeping on the job.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
Brian, you can go ahead. You posted it.
Yeah, so the question in the chat from Bill H was, how many subscribers do you have on YouTube? And I'd add to that, how long have you been making YouTube videos?
Okay, so subscriber-wise, my number is it's not crazy. It's, hold on, 2,253 subscriber. That's what I have as of now. But for how long? I've had my channel for like, I don't know, maybe more than 10 years. But back then I used to use that channel just to upload my, my dance reel. So when I would, try sell workshop or book workshop, I'll send them those sample videos. So that's kind of why I had the channel for. And then probably 3 years ago, I started posting paramotor videos. And at first I was really consistent with it. I was like, posting every week and so on. But then, life takes over, and eventually I had a daughter. She's 2.5 now. So it's like, life takes over and it's hard to post consistently. But yeah, it's about, let's say about like 3 years that I'm like somehow posting paramotor videos on YouTube.
Well, you had several compliments on your videos in the chat. Your Danke says, great guest. I follow him. Great videos. Somebody else, Bill H, was saying that you had really good content, good steward of the sport. So,
yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, your Danke's is a interesting character too. I just saw him down at the fly-in. Do you know him, Fly Baby Fly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool, man. Yeah, we didn't get to fly together, but we were down there and got to hang out together. It was awesome. So, do you go to many fly-ins?
I listen. I did last year. I did Salton Sea. I've been going for Salton Sea for 3 years now. Flying circuits I've done once last year. This year I'm not sure yet, especially with the school. So it's kind of hard to combine, like classes at this point and then being able to go to all those places, which it's also a good thing because you get to connect with new pilots and meet a bunch of people, which I love. But I'm doing Salton Sea for sure. Salton Sea, I'm going there. I'm gonna be representing, a couple brands that I work with, bringing students for the first time and meeting up with a bunch of pilots that I've connected before, and some new that I haven't got the chance to meet yet.
Are you going to be able to go to Bad Apples by any chance?
Yeah, so yeah, the coming one for sure. I'm coming. Last year I wanted to come. I was borderline. I was on the edge to show up, work and everything. But this year for sure, I'll be coming.
Good. We'll be there I'll be there for sure. I don't know who else is going. Anybody else on the panel going to be able to go to Bad Apples this year? It's coming up. Will fly. Brian, JP's on the cusp. How about you, Jade? Maybe?
Possibly.
Possibly. Jim, he's shaking his head no. Paramom, hopefully. She says no, darn it. All right, maybe. I don't know. We might be able to get some more people. Any other questions from the panel or the chat real quick?
The chat, yeah, there's a question. And
Okay.
how many countries have you flown in?
So far, how many countries I've flown? 2. That's sad. I wish I had taken the sport before, while I was touring. That would have been awesome because I already had, free time in between each country. They would let me stay however long I had in between those two, and it was completely paid for. So I really wish I had that before, but no, 2 only. But I'm planning on flying more. Like now that everything is finalized, and then I got my citizenship not so long ago, last year in October. So super excited about that. So it makes, traveling a lot easier because a lot of countries, they have like weird requirements when it comes to visas and all the stuff if you want to travel. So yeah, super stoked. This coming next year, probably gonna start traveling a little more.
Right on.
All right. Looks like we got a bunch of people in the chat. Fly Baby, Fly PPG, Nick Griffith, Bradley Beck. Am I saying that right? I don't have my glasses on right now. Paramotor Girl, Travis DuPoint, Brian Waller, Paramotor Girl. Got a bunch of people in here. Angela Preslick, I see, and Nick Griffith. We've got a lot of people in the chat, so thank you very much for joining us tonight. We definitely appreciate that. If you have any questions, please type them in the chat. And also Eric, PPG Lear, LEAR.com is in the chat also. So tell us a little bit about your school and how's that going?
I mean, listen, the school is like the most exciting thing I've ever done. Like, I really feel like I lost so much time not doing it before. It's awesome. It's slowly picking up. The first few months, it was kind of like, a friend of a friend and a friend of a friend and someone that saw me on YouTube and stuff like that. But now it really started picking up with just like random people, from all over the platform, like YouTube, it can be Instagram, that works really well. And then Google, Google reviews and stuff like that. So it's slowly picking up. The whole, it kind of, I've seen the progress between, starting a school and just training a student and not having a lot of like, it's kind of like the understanding when you start teaching, like 10 years later is way different. So I feel like throughout the month, every month, I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I should do this way. And that's how I started, with the LZ, adding multiple LZ. I've started doing this like about a month and a half ago. And I called old students like, hey, you want to come back? I have like 5 more LZ. You want to try it out, different airspace, different setup, different landing approach and all the stuff to take into consideration. And then the new students have been loving it. And it's been super helpful for them. And, I find them to be able to go on their own without even having any sort of worry. They're like literally like this morning, a guy just finished training. He was like, oh, I'm going to Lancaster. It's a place just by himself and stuff. It kind of, I'm a little scared because he's my student, but then now I know he's been doing it for like a couple of times. I'm like, oh yeah, you're actually getting it. And so it makes me feel good about, the results that I'm getting. So definitely grateful.
It sounds like it's really kicking off. It looks like we got another question in the chat. Ryan?
Yeah, Nick Griffith wants to know, what's your go-to wing?
Listen, I haven't owned a lot of different wings. And the reason why is just because, like I told you, right? My first wing was an Apco Prima for like a tank, like way bigger, way too big for me. It was old and everything. And then when I first purchased the wing, I was talking with Kevin Campbell with I Fly Indiana. And then he's a dealer for Niviuk. So he got me hooked up on a Niviuk on the link to, and then right when I got it, I reached out to Niviuk and I became part of the adventurer team. So since then, I've been only flying Niviuk for the most part. I've tested a bunch of wing, with different friends that have different brands, but my go-to is Niviuk. It's not just because I'm a team pilot for them, but like they've been supporting me from the beginning, and I've been flying their wings so many hours that I'm just so comfortable with it. So, it's not really objective in the sense like I haven't owned enough wing to tell you, this is just because it's for sure the best, but it's like, I love the wing, I'm used to it. So that's my go-to, Niviuk Qubik, the Cougar 3 that I ordered too. And same for my tandem wing, the Arbus, but yeah.
Awesome. Will Fly, is there any other questions in the chat?
Yeah, you've got Matt Sloper wants to know, Daniela, if you fly paragliding also.
Yeah, I do.
So you do both.
I do both.
PPG and PG. Okay.
Yeah. A lot more paramotoring, but I eventually did paragliding because when I started, I was trying to get my girlfriend to get into it, and she's always been like, "Oh, I'm not gonna put, a fan on my back. It's too dangerous, like a motor, like a little stereotypical about the sport." And then I'm like, "Okay, let's try paragliding then," And then she liked it, and then since she liked it, I was like, "Oh, let me get my license so we can access the same site together," because the whole paragliding is a little bit different when it comes to finding LZs. You need to have that P2 rating at least. So that's the reason why I eventually got into it. But I love it. It's a totally different animal. It's like day and night compared to paramotoring for me. I feel like it's way harder, but I embrace both.
So you started out with PPG and then you transitioned. Okay, that's interesting.
Correct. Yeah.
Everyone that I've talked to said that they started out paragliding first and then became a paramotor pilot, that they would be a better paramotor pilot.
Yeah.
So it's not something I've ever tried myself, but yeah, I think I'd give it a try.
It's
I got
fun.
a question.
Yeah.
Do you think after having thrown your hat into the instructor ring, it's made you a better pilot? Having to think about stuff more and, find ways to teach students, it's actually improved you yourself, like unintentionally, if you will.
I mean, yeah, definitely 100%. Especially when I see like little mistakes, like just little things about just like how you drop your risers on the floor or how you clip in, and you just like focus on something else instead of focusing on your, on your checks, focusing on the GoPro, focusing on the music, or focusing on the mic, like just little things like that. So I feel like I was like, damn it, like I feel like I do this sometimes. So yeah, it definitely made a big difference.
How can you give them a hard time if it's something you do?
Yeah. So yeah, it definitely made a big difference.
That's what I love about the sport is we're all always learning. There's always something more to learn. And if you ever feel like you got it all, I feel like that's a sad day because there's always something else you can learn.
Oh yeah, I agree, 100% on that.
So talking about your school, how long have your school been going? How many students do you think you have graduated? And how do we go about, finding your school to enroll in it?
Okay, so I mean, it really started kicking in back in March of last year. So that's when I started. That's when I launched the school officially. March of last year. I was teaching before, but I was like, okay, officially, I want to have my all my ratings. So I went, trained with Noah, got signed off on instructor rating, and then started. So science started. I had a total I graduated 7 students, which is, super exciting for me. It's like, it feels like a small number, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And when I see groups of people like training, groups of 5 to 10 people, and then they do this like every month, I'm like, damn it, that takes a lot out of you. So yeah, a lot of work, 7 students. And then, the good part of it is that we're all friends. Like we're literally, every time I go fly now, my classes are all one-on-one only. So once I finish this one-on-one phase with my student and they're ready to do their first flight, I take them on their first flight with a bunch of other students, focus on whoever is doing their first flight. And once they have done their first flight, my other students are going to be drilling some stuff. I'll set some cones and lights and stuff, spot landing, landing approach, and all those fun things. And then I focus on the new student, but they merge into a group setting at some point after their first flight. And then from that first flight on until I get a new student, it's just every week we go to a different location and we have a class for like a full day. And then because most places that we have here, it's full day flying. We can fly all day. We go by the beach, we go to Salton Sea. Sometimes we go inland, and that's a little trickier because it's like no wind launch and everybody hates. I mean, the students, all of them hate it. But yeah, so after first day of flight, then they transition into a full group of people flying. So they learn about, if you're about to take off, you set up your wing, but if you're not ready, take it out of the way. Like all those little things about, you would want to apply to fly-ins, like etiquette, like if I would say. So yeah, so one-on-one, and then group setting was different location. And then eventually we have, they graduate. And then after they graduate, they still keep coming back. I have students that I started more than a year ago, even before I opened the school, and they're still flying, they're still flying as students. They don't want to graduate, but they're autonomous. They can do their own thing.
Awesome. I think we have some questions in the chat. Jim?
Yeah, there's a question here from Ordankis. He was wondering why, why did you get into the sport? What brought you into it?
Why did I get into the sport? Okay, so I mean, it's pretty simple. I love extreme sports in general, right? I used to do a lot of free climbing, like, so technically, I mean, non-technically speaking, is like climbing with like rope. It's kind of dangerous. I used to do like, all those crazy handstand on edge of like Yosemite and all the stuff. That was kind of like the thing that was getting me excited every time I would go doing those trips. Anything that was a little bit kind of like out of the norm, for what reason, I don't know, just because it gives me satisfaction somehow. And so I was looking for something else because I was done touring. So I wasn't like going, when I was touring, I was doing 11 months a year out of the country, just like bouncing from place to place. And then that tour was ended. And then I was like, okay, well, what's going to be next? So I started working, I started having, dance classes here and then a bunch of different things going on. Was the closing line that I have. And then eventually I was like, oh, maybe let me do skydiving. And skydiving, I saw the prices and just the total amount of like money you would have to spend to get into the sport and then to keep jumping. It seemed a little too much. And I was like, oh, let me look at different options. And I saw paramotoring, which I already had seen before on YouTube. I had seen Tucker Got, but like years ago. And then I was like, it's not that bad if you buy used. And then I finally, find the gear and then got into it. But that's essentially, I was looking for something else to replace, all the climbing and all those fun stuff. Something that I could do easily and I wasn't like restricted in so many ways. So at first when I saw paramotor, I thought it was, I can fly every day from wherever I want. Well, obviously we know it's not the case, but that was my first idea. I was like, oh yeah, wake up in the morning, go fly and then land and then go to work and then come back and fly again. Life is different, but still no regrets. It was awesome.
It's awesome to be able to get up in the morning and go fly and then go to work and then come home from work and go fly again. It's absolutely amazing. Looks like we got some more questions in the chat. Jade?
Sorry about that. So Deweese is asking from Mississippi, what motor and cage do you fly?
As of now, I have a Skymax star frame. The motor, I have a Sky Engine 150. It's like a custom unit. I bought I like the APCO harness, which I used to have on my first unit. So I found it comfortable. I like the reserve mounted on the side. So I just, so Skymax didn't sell the setup with the APCO harness. So I bought the Skymax frame. I bought the Sky Engine 150, which nobody was selling, as a package, and then the APCO separately. So that's the setup I have right now.
Awesome. Looking at your page, I saw something that said you had like 4 different prices, and one of them was self-taught. How does that work?
Okay, that's the one I've had a lot of conversation, a lot of people getting upset and emotional about it. So long story short, I told you I self-trained, which wasn't really by choice, because when I was training, when I wanted to learn paramotor, I had to reach out to so many people. Hey, would you be able to answer a question? Or just like, I wasn't asking for a training because I couldn't make it to those places too far from me. I was just seeking advice, and nobody wanted to give me any advice because they're like, I don't want to be liable for you getting hurt, and I can understand. But the other side, I'm like, well, I mean, I have to get hurt, at least, try to guide me the right way so I don't kill myself. But anyway, I had such a hard time, from day one, watching a video on YouTube to like my day of my first flight, that I was like, what, now that I have a school and I have an idea of what it is to be self-trained and the mistake I had made back then, I was like, maybe I can create something where if someone wants to self-train, step number one, I had 2 people reaching out to me for that self-train package. And my number one step is to talk to them first, have a full conversation, like 2 hours, 3 hours, and see if they're really in a mindset of like, I want to self-train because I don't care. I'm just going to do it, like reckless, or they're just like, listen, they have valid reason and they really feel like they can do it. And and it's hard to tell you like, oh, it's going to be ABC requirement for me to say, yes, I'm going to help you out on that self-train thing. But, you get a good idea when you have a conversation with someone, if you feel like, they're in the right way and they possibly can make it happen. And so what I will do, if I feel like they are, I'll just help them. I'll guide them through whatever material is available online. I'll have them record themselves. I'll send them video of me, how to clip in and how to do like really basic. I don't have a full course online where I have like videos with like kiting and this and that, because there's so much online regardless of that. So what I'll just provide them with the Bible, the PPG Bible, the latest version. And then yeah, I'll help them through the process. I have a checklist of like, okay, number one, go through, work on that, and then master that. Once you master that and you send me videos of you actually killing it and having your kiting down and your clipping down and your pre-flight check and all the stuff, then we'll go step number 2 and so on. And if they want to do their first flight and they're not too far from here, they'll just come over or I'll go to them. Like I had a client doing a first class in Vegas. So I'm like, I don't teach in Vegas. That's not my demographic. But he reached out to me. He's like, listen, I'm a P2. I just want to do my first flight. I was like, okay, well, keep practicing. It was, 2 months ago. And then he kept practicing, sending me videos of him kiting and doing, like taxi with the motor, not flying. And then I just went for a day. We did sunrise and sunset where we just practiced everything, throughout the first part of the day, just make sure he was actually, and then sunset, we finally went and had him do his first flight.
Okay. So basically someone will say, hey, I've read the PPG Bible. I've watched a bunch of Tucker Gott videos. It looks easy as hell. So I bought some equipment from eBay. Do you go over their equipment and all that stuff and go over their knowledge and all that too?
Yeah. Well, that's the number one thing I do. Because a lot of people tell me, like, I had a P2 pilot tell me, like, oh yeah, I got it, blah, 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 I'm ready. And then you show up on training. I'm like, okay, can you just kite? Let me see. And then it was like, I was like, not sure you're ready. It's like, when they tell you things and you're like, when you see them in person, like, okay, this wasn't really accurate, right? You're kind of like pumping yourself up, trying to kind of upsell yourself or your skills. And so that's what I'm saying. Like by requesting those videos, I don't tell them, I don't give them a full panel of things. This is everything you need to know right now. I was like, the first step is like, okay, this is the type of wing you would need with the weight that you have and the type of motor that would be necessary or whatever. They buy their wing, they start kiting. I can help them with getting a kiting harness. And then it's, send me a video of yourself clipping it in reverse and clipping it in forward and, all those checks. And I can see right away if they're, if they're reckless or if they're just not really paying attention. You see on the first video of them clipping in, like, okay, this was wrong and this was wrong and this was wrong. So before even they get to kite the wing, I'll see them clipping in. And until that clipping in is ready, I won't send them any other material about the whole kiting process. And those people already buying that package, they're just, obviously they're already in that state of mind, like they want to know what I can bring on the table for them to do it safely. So it's kind of like, I know if they reach out to me, they already have that thinking or like, okay, well, I kind of want to do it safely, if anything.
All right. Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. I don't know if anybody else does that. So that's pretty cool. Looks like we even have more questions for you. I mean, everybody in the chat, you have more questions, just type them in and we will answer them for you. Hopefully we'll answer for you. Jay, what's the next question out there?
All right. So Mad Sloper is asking, Daniela, where do you see yourself in 5 years in this sport?
Okay, 5 years in the sport, I see the school growing. I mean, I want to get full into the school where to a point where it's like I get people, and I'm not talking about money because money is not the issue right here. Not having I have a job on this, I'll have my work on the side. So it really is like take to the point where there's a community that is built in the area, which you don't really have. We have pilots here and there, but even if we're like 20 miles apart, we don't know each other and we never fly together. It's like it's a weird vibe around here. I don't know if it's because it's LA or because just it's too big and people have a hard time connecting. But it's just kind of like really building that community in 5 years and pushing what I believe it's like obviously the safety of the sport and like that how much fun it is, beyond anything, how much fun it is. So really pushing that, bringing my school to the next level, whatever it will look like, just kind of making the community that we have here in LA a little bit bigger. And then eventually, the whole STAYBAD thing, I want to take it to a different level. I have, I'm working on some projects of doing like a base jumping team for STAYBAD because I have, a couple students that are expert in base jumping. So we're working on different ideas around that. So kind of like grow the thing and be able to provide, create a team of, kind of like Scout have the Iceland trip and then, different companies have different trip, like one in Egypt and stuff like that. I spent 10 years of my life in France and my best friend, he's a paragliding pilot. And so we're trying to kind of, create some sort of thing where it will be accessible to have, trips overseas where it will be super accessible when it comes to the price. And you wouldn't even need to bring, like a pair of gloves. You have everything from point A to point B. And I'm having a trip that I'm organizing end of May, for French people that are coming. I have a group of 6 guys. They're already pilots in France and they're coming here, Southern California. And then for a week, I'm going to take them all around, like, you know, like Oxnard had the beach, flying Malibu, flying inland around here, Salton Sea, Glamis, and stuff like that. So that will be my first shoot that I'm trying to kind of put together, which is happening in May. And then this one is already fully done. And it's, you know, I want a 6 pilot, and that's it. And I'll be providing them with engines and then anything they will need. Most of them want to bring their wing, but that's the idea. Take that concept and, you know, kind of like export it in different places, but make it accessible. That's the number one thing, you know, it makes it like, try to kind of open it up to more people.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm looking here in the super chat and it says travel arm guard. I don't know who this person is, but it said Danielo is the best. I'm his forever student. I refuse to graduate. And Hot Butter Steve said Danielo Mendes.
I know most of those guys. The travel arm guard is Zach. Zach is one of my first students when I first opened the school, and that's the one I told you, like, there's some of them, like, they're not retiring, they're not graduating. They're good. They're good. They've been flying, you know, every time I go fly, they come with me and they're up in the air. But, you know, it's like I say, it's like we build a friendship with every single like students, and then they get connected between each other. And it's just like we have this whole, like I said, this whole community from like, and they're from all over the place, you know, LA, Tehachapi, which is about 2 hours away. Like we're all spread out all over California.
That is awesome. Anybody in our panel that has any questions?
Yeah, I was wondering how often you can fly in LA.
Pretty much every day.
Yeah, you live in California. Yeah, lucky duck.
Yeah, like the good part, the only sad part about LA, the only reason why you don't fly every day is because of traffic. It's not because of the weather. Traffic is so bad that it's just like, you know, events up to LZ that is not too far. Like in normal time will take me like 7 minutes, but like every other hour of the day, it takes me like 30 minutes. So it's like, you just kind of look at this, like from 7 to 30 minutes. So from 30 minutes to an hour and a half, it just kind of like, it scales up pretty fast. So, but if you just look at the weather, for the most part, you can fly every day.
I am so
good. I'm gonna come
jealous.
And you need no gloves. That's the best part for me. No gloves.
Man.
That's what's cool about this sport. You know, I'm listening to Daniel, and it's all about community, you know, and just getting people together or introducing people to the sport. And then, you know, people that maybe just never really had an interest in it and decide, well, what the heck, I'll invest some money, let's see how this goes. And then before you know it, you know, they have all these people around them supporting them, and I just think it's awesome. I don't even fly, you know, I don't fly, but I'm very supportive of my son, you know, who paraglides, and then he's the one that kind of got me started getting interested in all this, and then here I am with this show and all that. But that's what it's about. It's just about community and take care of each other and learn from each other and all that. So I got to give, as we say, I got to give kudos to you, Danielle. And
thank you.
Man, I wish you the best. I mean, you're gonna be fine. I'm telling you what. You're gonna take this whole thing. I mean, no pun intended, but this thing, your stuff's taken off, and people know you, and yeah, respect you and everything. And I think it's totally cool. And then the dancing part of it, you know, like you're saying you're in dancing, that is like so cool, because how does that, you know, that kind of entwines with the sport too, because I think of, you know, when you guys are kiting and you got to learn the kiting first before you get out there, that's kind of like a dance, you know, that's a little dancing there. You got to be in shape for that.
Do you dance when you kite? Because that would make for some really good TikTok videos.
I think it looks like dancing. Yeah. I mean, I
was JP.
That's what Sean Natcher. That's what Sean Natcher does when he's kiting his wing. He's out there dancing.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of dancing, yeah, TikTok Tulo here. See, I know what I see and everything. So there you go, Danielle. I'm just gonna say, you know, keep on dancing, keep on flying. That's
speaking about dancing, I think we have a question in the chat. Anybody want to ask that question?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. It's
right.
Hot Butter Steve wants to know, Daniela, if you can teach him to dance at Salton.
We've done that. I did a trip with Pucana Paramotor back in October to Moab. It was awesome. And so we had a downtime between like sunrise and sunset. And I took all the guys and just like, oh, you're a dancer? And they put me on the spot. I was like, come on, teach us some dancing. I have some videos. I'll send you to you guys.
Oh,
And
that's
we all
cool.
started like learning a full routine on Chris Brown, like some song. And we made a small clip. We had a small dance video about it. It was pretty fun.
That's fun.
You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised.
Sure. Well, yeah, when you say used to dance, they're like, okay, show me what? Yeah, show me. Come on, show me those moves there. That's cool.
Absolutely.
So I got a quick question for you, man, related to paramotors, not so much dancing, but so you self-trained, right? So you talked yourself into the air the first time. So looking back at that experience, because most of us here are pilots that have had that solo and had that experience, and had those emotions when you got back on the ground. How does that compare to talking a student up for the first time successfully?
All right, listen, the only thing that helped me out by doing the self-training is to think like about like what I was thinking when I was taking off, when I was setting up. I mean, there's so many things I wasn't thinking about. Let's just put it this way. When I was setting up and I remember now that the things I know now that I was not even aware of when I did my first flight and my first landing, just to kind of begin with. That's a big kind of like a big boom in my head because like, okay, well, those things I'm aware of that right now. I want to make sure my students are aware of that because it would have made a difference on my first flight and second flight and third flight and so on. I put some videos of my actual self-training and my first flight and my second flight. My first flight, I crash landed totally fine, but I pressed the kill switch too low and I ended up like literally face planted on the dirt. It was like super soft dirt. And it was just like, okay, it was fine. The gear was completely fine. I was ready to go back. The day after, I went in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the desert, El Mirage, and same thing. It was like it took me an hour and a half to take off because the wind kept shifting. And I wasn't thinking much of it. I wasn't looking deeper than that. I was like, oh, the wind is shifting. Great. I'm just going to reset. I finally take off, and there was like crazy gust winds, like 500 feet up high. It was blowing me, and I have the video online, and you can see I'm being blown away, and my car is getting smaller and smaller. And I landed like literally like I was parked, landing straight up like a helicopter. I put it down. So happy to be down and in one piece. Dropped my paramotor, and I hiked an hour and a half to my car, took my car, and went back in the middle of the desert to pick up my paramotor. So it's like little things where I'm like, really, I did this, like, I really felt, stupid, but I didn't know better, and nobody was telling me, and nobody was answering my question. This is the kind of part I was kind of a little bit like, upset about. I would ask questions, and people would not even answer. It would be like, no, we don't want to be liable for it. So, I don't want to put names, but, there's people that are still on the forum today, like, that I reached out to, and I was like, no, I'm not interested. And it was literally, I was just a simple question. Here's my landing. Can you tell me what's up? And the first person that actually helped me out was Kevin Campbell with I Fly Indiana. When I sent him my second landing, where I actually landed on my feet, complete luck. But he helped me out. Okay, your timing should be like this and like that. And then, eventually, little by little, I improved by having those people helping me. So, my first flights kind of resonate in my head all the time. When I see my students doing a first flight, I'm like, okay, you're gonna feel this way when it comes down, when you're coming for your landing, or when you're coming for your takeoff, you're gonna want to do this, you're gonna want to do that. But this is all control, right? If I tell you full power, that's because your wing is stable over your head. So I kind of like reassure them on some of the things that I was worrying about when I first, did my first attempt.
So do you recommend people trying to self-train?
No. So this is the thing. I can recommend it. Is not because I have a school. It generally is not because I have a school. Even if I didn't have a school, I'll say the same thing. But for number one reason, besides the safety, because which is the main one, right? But number one reason, because those people think like, oh, my self-train is going to be on my time. It's going to take you like 20 years longer than if you were going to a school, right? Doesn't matter the school. A school, it's so convenient because they have everything right here for you. And then, it's like I say, it's a controlled environment. So the chance of you getting hurt are way less. I believe self-training is a possibility? Totally, like 100%. And that's why I have that on my website. But I don't believe that anybody should just go and self-train just because they're lazy or because they don't want to take time off or whatever. There's a lot that goes into it, and it's not about being, good enough or not good enough. It's just, it's a matter of mindset and, of a lot of things, it's how you perceive the sport and everything. So I think it's possible to self-train, but, no brainer. If you can go and get trained, I mean, there's no question. You go and get trained.
Absolutely. JP, I asked in the chat, in our Zoom chat, were you able to see that as far as getting the spinning wheel thing going to give away a shirt? You're on mute. That's all right. Hey, you're on mute, but can you take a picture? I mean, since
Yes. Yes.
we'll take a picture and we'll figure out a way to give away a shirt.
Ready.
Ready for a screenshot?
1, 2, 3, cheese. Perfect.
All right. Good deal. It is about 10 till 8. How long do we have you for, Mr. Danielo?
We're good. Let's go.
We're good. Okay. We want to give away a shirt. I guess we'll have to figure out a way of giving away a shirt for everybody that's here right now. So,
JP, are you able to do the spinning wheel?
It's going to take me a few minutes, but I can do it if you want.
we can just do a question. Let's just do a question, and we'll do that instead. Whoever answers the question first. So everyone, refresh this video. Just hit that refresh up there, and we'll wait a couple seconds while you refresh it, so we're all on the same page at the same time. So everybody's refreshing.
You had a question in the chat from Eric. He wanted to know if Daniela does foot launch and trike, or do you do tandems also?
Okay, so I haven't done trike yet, surprisingly. Foot launch I have been foot launching forever. I want to do trike eventually, because now that I have the school, and I will be able to do tandem flights, which I'm finishing my tandem exemption with Noah, Epic Paramotor, at the end of the month. So I'll be able to offer that. So, but yeah, no trike yet. Trike is happening, probably something along the line of next year, because I live in LA, so I still live in an apartment. I'm planning on moving out this summer to a house, which is going to be easier to store equipment and all the stuff. For now, in an apartment, I already have 3 paramotors. Believe me, it's trike is not an option. So yeah, no trike yet, but it's I'm planning on doing it. I'm really curious about it. I have never flown trike. So, I have no idea how. I've been on the tandem trike, but I don't know what it feels like to launch it, to land it, and all the stuff. So excited about that too.
Okay. Do you have access to our Zoom chat, Danielo? Have you seen what we've been talking about in here?
Okay, so on the right. Okay, this is just you guys, right?
Yeah, this is just us.
Okay. Yes, I do.
All right. So that's the correct answer. Is that the official answer to the question that we're going to ask?
Oh, okay.
So for the people that are listening, what we're doing is we're trying to come up with a question and an official answer to give away a t-shirt.
Something we talked about tonight.
Okay. So
that's why I think it might be a trick question.
Yeah.
They had to be listening.
Yeah, I think so. So you were born in France?
No, born in Brazil. Born and raised in Brazil.
Brazil. And you lived in France?
I lived in France. So 0 to 14, Brazil. 14 to about 24-ish, France. And then 24-ish to right now 35 here, LA.
Okay. So I guess we got a question for everybody. Did everybody refresh? Is everybody ready to go? Who would like to ask or answer questions? Just say, I would like to answer questions, or yes, or whatever in the chat, so we know how many people are going to be trying to answer. Just say yes in the chat, and we'll see how many people want to. Bill H, Eric, JP a couple of times. we're not I guess we could ask.
I don't know what the question is, but I'm already answering it.
I know, right? Crazy. All right. Wow. All right. So we got a lot of people that are ready to do this. All right. So it looks like everybody's all in the on the same page. Yeah, Brian Waller. I thought so too. All right, so we got a lot of people over here. Tommy Mosley's in the house. What's up, bud? ppgtommy.com. All right, so let's see, how many people do we have in here that are going to be answering questions? Oh, so Braley said pi. Is that all the numbers you know, pi too? So we got, is that Bradley? Wish I brought my glasses.
Beck. Beck.
All right, so Bradley Beck, Fly Baby Fly, PPG, Travis DuPoint, Walter. I should have brought my glasses. Somebody rattle off everybody's name for me
Well, you got it. Walter,
in the chat.
the ones that say yes?
Just everybody that you can see.
Okay, so Travis DuPont, Bradley Beck, Tommy Mosley, Deweese Milstead, Mickey Alberto, Hot Buttered Steve, Mad Sloper, Bill H., Kevin Voigt, Angela Preslick, JP Tulo, John Wayne, and Brian Waller. Bill H., I said. Who did I miss there?
Adam Robinson.
Yeah. EricPPGLear.com.
John Wayne.
Brian Haybale Waller.
I just wanted to, shout out everybody. I mean, you guys are here. I appreciate y'all for hanging out.
Fly Baby Fly PPG in the house.
All right.
I think.
Hey, Jax is here. What's up, Jack? Jack Burton. What's up, bud? Glad you made it. All right. So we are going to ask a question, and the first person that puts the correct answer in the chat wins a t-shirt from ClearPropTV.com. And let me get a where'd I put my t-shirts? Where'd I put the one?
James.
Here they are. All right, so we got t-shirts over here, and might have to turn off my background so oh no, you can see it. So it says paramotors, my social distancing. This is one of our t-shirts that you can get in our merch store over at iloveppg.com. Also too, just throwing this out, you can also go to paralifeppg.com and get some merch over there too. I always got to shout out, our buds over there that give us free stuff. All right, so the question is, you guys have more stuff in the chat?
Yeah, take a look at that one, Sean.
All right, let me look. I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses here. Okay, I see that. And we got yeah. Oh, okay, and you're okay. So looks like Daniela might want to give away some stuff too. Nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, so that is your official answer right there, right? Okay. Wait a minute. Is it going to be? Hold on. Let me type in here real quick because y'all don't get to see that. So is that the correct one?
Correct.
All right. Good deal. All right. So here's the question. Danielo, he has an Instagram, right? What does his Instagram say? What is his name on Instagram?
STAYBAD Paramotor.
STAYBAD Paramotor. Okay. So the question is, what does STAYBAD mean? The first one that answers that with the correct answer in the chat wins a shirt from ClearPropTV.com. If you want to just buy one, there's one actually pinned at the top of the chat, an official ClearProp TV shirt.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
I see Eric.
USA.
I think Eric got it.
I guess Eric got it.
That was a lot quicker than I thought I was going to go.
Yeah, very. I mean, look at everybody else. Go to jail, born to dance, humble, I'm out, Daybed USA, Marty Robbins, Niviuk,
Got the right
Dance,
answer.
bumble,
Like,
Niviuk.
go to
but
jail.
safe.
Born to dance.
Risky but safe. Risky but safe.
They are all crazy.
Hold my beer. That's a good one.
Yeah. All right. Boys are dope.
But the correct
Oh,
answer,
Lord.
Eric got it. Beyond any definition.
Tony Marzano, your T-shirt is going to be mailed out tomorrow. Sorry about that. All right, that's funny. So Eric, I guess we got a T-shirt and some merch from Danielo. I guess Eric can get a merch from Danielo or the T-shirt. So what do you want? And we'll ask another question for the next.
Yeah,
Bit of
it's a
merch.
mystery. It's a mystery what's coming from Daniela, right? So
Is that what it is? Is it a mystery,
A,
Danielo?
door number 1, a known quantity, or door number 2?
Is this like dirty paramotor Santa?
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing, Danielo? Is it's burgers are delicious. Props before cops. What?
That's your choice, Daniela. I'm just saying that because we haven't talked about it in the chat.
Yeah, no, I'm listening.
They don't know.
Whatever, it's there. So whatever you think is the right way, I'm open.
I will take the merch. Thank you very much, Danielo. Okay, so now we're going to be asking a question for Danielo's merch. So, Danielo, is there a question that you want to put in the in our Zoom chat that we want to ask, or what would you like to do?
I mean, do you guys have any idea? I'm trying to come up with something quick, but let's see.
So we're actually doing it for the shirt now, right? Because Eric said he'll take the merch.
Well, my merch or his merch?
Well, I'm assuming he meant Danielo's merch.
Oh, is that what he meant? He's
Yeah,
taking Danielle's merch, and I think that's it. So I guess it doesn't make a difference. We're still going to spin or ask another question, right? And so we'll figure it out at the end. Eric just gets to pick first since he did that. Ooh, I like that, JP. What do you think about that one?
Because I think
Danielle?
he did talk about it, right? Or did I read that? Did I read it or did he mention that?
He mentioned,
He did.
Okay.
and that'll be a good one,
Because you have to be paying attention to catch that one.
right? So
That's a yes or no, but well, wait. Let me say something.
Well, you could get into more detail about it if you want.
well, we need to have
So Eric said he wants Danielo's gear in the chat.
sounds good. All right. So
Or merch.
Does that mean his paramotor or
you,
his
you
wing?
get a
But both.
you get a paramotor and a wing. That's awesome.
Wants Danielo's gear.
No, I misspoke. You said merch. My bad.
Merch.
Okay. So he wants Danielo's merch. Nobody wants our T-shirts. He already got one. So why does he want another one, right? All right. So which one do we want to do as far as the question? JP's?
I mean, they're both. I see a lot of. I mean, they're good questions. They're both valid.
How about
You pick. You guys pick. No.
Well, one's a yes and no, and the other is more specific.
how about that one?
I don't remember that myself.
Well, he'll have to put
So I'm gonna.
yeah, he'll have to put the official one here in our chat so we know for sure.
It might be funny watching everybody guess though, since
I
they don't
think
know.
so. I think so. So that's the official answer right there, Danielo?
If do the last question, yes.
Okay. So let's go ahead and do that one for the T-shirt. All right. Is everyone
This is gonna be good.
Tommy's already like he has 3.
Tommy, you can't be peeking in here and then be doing stuff. All right. So the question is, well, first of all, Danielle, thank you very much for hanging out with us tonight. Before we ask the question, tell us a little bit about your school and how do we get up with you in case we're in the California area and want to get into your school.
Listen, if you want to train or if you want to fly with us, which you're more than welcome. We have a bunch of LZ that we're like happy to kind of get you in with us. But STAYBAD or you go on YouTube, Daniel STAYBAD. I mean, any platform will link you to my website eventually. So STAYBAD Paramotor. If you type down Google, you'll find it. Or if you type Paramotor Los Angeles, you'll be able to find that too. So yeah, Instagram STAYBAD Paramotor, website STAYBADParamotor.com, YouTube Daniel STAYBAD, and then Facebook on the forum Daniella Mendes. You'll find me under that name.
Do you have a school phone number that you can give out over the air?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Okay, so it's 818-835-2294.
All right. One more time in case they're like trying to get that pencil real quick and they want to hear it again.
Yeah, so it's 818-835-2294. Text or call works.
Awesome. All right. Thank you very much. We'll still chat for another half an hour or so. We'll go ahead and ask that question, and we will see these interesting answers here in just a moment. Who wants to ask that question? Anybody want to ask that question, or do I get to ask a question?
Linda hasn't had an opportunity to ask a question, has she?
I don't know. Linda, do you know can you see our chats? She might not be able to see our chats.
You see the Zoom?
I saw the chat.
The Zoom chat?
The last question. Oh, I mean the one that like I look at down here when it comes up when you guys say go ahead.
Yep.
Yeah,
very last question was
just don't say the answer. Just ask the question.
No.
All right, go ahead and ask the question. This is for a T-shirt from ClearPropTV, PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast. This is an official Paramotors My Social Distancing T-shirt.
Okay. What is Daniel's daughter's name?
Good luck.
Well, the good thing is, I mean, you know, this is recorded, so you can actually scroll backwards and find it, right? So let's see. Tony Marzano said Skymax. No, I don't think that's her name.
Skymax.
Oh,
what?
What? Somebody got it?
I mean,
Yeah. No. Close.
Well, does it have to be spelled correctly, or is it kind of close?
Well, and that's true because they wouldn't have seen the
Right.
spelling.
Well, let's go ahead and read all the names real quick. STAYBAD. Oh, there you go. Susan, Wiggy, Wiggy. I think it's Wiggy. Bumble. Hot butter Steve always says Bumble. Stephanie, Maria, Steve from PPG Zone. No, nope, that ain't it.
Angela got it.
Oh, she corrected her. Yeah, she corrected her spelling.
Wow, that is awesome. I can't believe that she did. Angela got it.
Leroy.
How do you know these things, Angela? I mean,
probably on Facebook.
Say the name.
Yeah. Travis says
I don't remember
Leroy.
that you said.
Looks like we got a winner.
We got a winner chicken dinner.
Angela got it?
Angela Presslick.
Good job, girlfriend. Woo,
That is awesome.
So how you pronounce that? Kira?
And let me point this out. She had enough time to put an emoji in there, which when you're trying to type fast, like she nailed
Pretty
it.
confident, huh?
Yeah.
All right, Angela.
Little heart emoji.
Good job, girl.
If you would do me a favor and text me your information if you don't have my phone number,
There you go.
I will put it in the chat right now. Boom, that's my phone number. So anybody can put that in their phone Text me anytime. Say hi to me. That's my real phone number. I have it with me all the time. Just text me. Say, hey, what's up?
Hey.
And
Sure
Angela,
to
go
call
ahead.
him at 3 a.m. That's his
Hey,
favorite time to talk paramotor.
you know what? It's really interesting. There's something on my phone that says silent and do not disturb. And between sleepy time and wakey up time, I don't hear nothing. So I don't care.
There you go. I don't blame you.
It's all good. Congratulations.
Man, you need
You're
her.
gonna wake up tomorrow morning and have 27 messages. Like,
That's good because no one calls me, no one texts me. It's like my phone is just sitting there. It's like I spend way too much money every month to have it, and no one calls me. So call me, text me. I don't care.
Well, hopefully, at least a couple of those messages will be about flying paramotors and not like teaching me how to dance and stuff, right?
I can't teach you no grandpa dance. It's
Of course, Daniela might be wanting to open up a dance school too. You could do, 2 for 1. Want to learn to do the tango and fly paramotor.
that's what I'm thinking. I mean, can you imagine him out there doing his little dance while kiting a little wings? Like, look at my dance, do a little spin.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
I know, right? That'd be awesome. We should all, we should do that. I would go to your school just so I could learn to dance and kite a wing.
Oh.
I'm making sure that that's happening at Bad Apples.
Down on me. Again.
That is awesome. Eric, I think we already got Danielo's phone number for his school. You said that people can call or text on that. So what's the phone number again, Danielo?
818-835-2294.
And Eric can get up with you to be able to send that merch to.
You can just text me or, direct message if you want to do Instagram, STAYBAD Paramotor, whatever works for him.
Awesome. Sweet. Well, man, this has been so fun. And we already been chatting for paramotors for an hour and almost 15 minutes. We're
got some more questions for him too. I mean, if he's got the time.
I'm here.
But I also I've watched some of your videos, man. They're awesome, and I can tell you got at least 2 new subscribers. If you refresh, you'll see. I know I subscribed. Tommy Mosley, he said he subscribed in the chat. So, just some awesome footage, man. Really enjoyed that. So, it's Sean. I wanted to ask real quick about you had mentioned in one of your videos about the Sky Engine 150.
Yeah.
And your comment was, "Wow, the climb performance on this thing is amazing." So, have you ever flown a Moster?
Yeah.
Okay, so comparing one against the other as far as the power.
I was about 800 feet per minute with the Moster. I was about 900 feet per minute with the Minari 180, which is the one I had right after that. And then with the Sky, I'm on same conditions, right? I'm talking about new wind, same wing, so in same location and everything. And like I said, nil wind, not even a mile per hour. I'm 1,160 feet per minute with the Sky 150. So it's like, and I'm not trying to upsell the thing. That thing is literally, it's a monster. Like you put it on your back, full RPM, top RPM is 10,500 RPM. So, you feel it and it's so fuel efficient. I just love it. I just love it. It's like, and especially for the weight, for my weight, I'm 165 and then the end. So it's about like 75 kilogram. And that's how much thrust that engine has, about 78 at sea level tested on the bench. So it has more thrust than my weight. So it's more than enough for me. It's more than I need. So yeah, climb rate is like crazy. Insane.
What's your fuel burn?
So I haven't done numbers. To give you an example, I flew when I was in Moab. So I was higher altitude, didn't touch the carb. I had full tank on it and I flew for 3 hours, came back down. I probably had 1 liter of fuel left on it. So, and that means going up and down in the canyon. It's like, right, I'm going down and, rev all the way up full power to go back up. So, I was surprised. I'm like, wow, I flew like exactly 2 hours, 45 minutes, and then we landed and I still had fuel, to kind of like.
What size tank do you have?
Huh?
What size tank do you have?
It's a 12 liter.
Oh, wow. That is good.
Yeah, so it was, I was really surprised. My Minari, I could not fly 2 hours, and I love that engine. Love that engine. Same for Monster. I have not, I know I've had stuff on the forum, but I have nothing against any brand at all. I've flown many different brands. I own a mini plane for my school. Plus the Sky 150. I'm gonna see if I get an Atom 80 eventually at some point. Eventually, a Monster is more about like warranty issues and stuff like that. But overall, like, yeah, the Sky 50 has a lot more power. If we were just talking about power straight up, it's and
Right on.
so if anybody comes to Southern, you guys are free. And then when I come to Bad Apple, I'm gonna be bringing some engines, Sky 150, Boxer 220. So test units. So if you guys want to go, and give it a rip, you'll see and just the sound, it sounds different. Each engine have their own sound, so it sounds different. I'm really pleased with the whole setup.
So in your school, do the students have access to different wings and different motors? They go there and they use your equipment, right? And then with your advice and your help, you steer them in the correct direction to buy their gear.
Correct.
What is the most, what wing do you think that a brand new student would be able to get, grow into, and be able to use for a couple of years? What would be a good wing, do you think?
Listen, per my experience from what I've flown, right? It's based on that, right? And I'm not ditching any other brand at all. I'm just
right. I understand.
I started with when I really started flying was a Link 2, which was I've flown in like crappy conditions, and it's a wing that has been super stable. You can push it really far, and it still it still gets the job done. And then I want a little bit more speed for the cross country. Eventually, upgraded for the one that is above the Link 2, which is the Qubik, with the right size and everything, with the tip steer tied into the brake line. Tied in properly makes a huge difference. I flow in both ways. So now there's a lot of brand new students that I, without a problem, purposely put on the Qubik, which is it's like a low B, but like still, it's pretty. You can push it really far. A lot of people fly it, cross country because it's super safe and everything. So there's new student that I would put on a Qubik, which is technically a B wing. And you think, oh, why not have them start on the A wing? So if you keep the Qubik with the original setting, with the tip steer on one side and your brake lines within the weight range, not overloaded on it, it's a wing that is super safe. And especially since I push my student on different wings with APCO wings, I have the velocity core, and then the Ozone, the Roadster. So they have, is it a Roadster? Yeah, the Roadster. Yeah. So they have access to those wings. But again, I fly the Qubik, and it's, when you fly a certain type of gear, your student kind of look up to you and they're like, oh yeah, I like it. I feel like they get kind of like attracted to whatever you're flying because, you make it look like it's so easy, because, I fly my Sky 150 with my Qubik, and, I have so much fun. I'm used to it. So they feel like, oh yeah, I want to get to that point of being comfortable with my gear. So maybe if I get a Qubik, but again, they get to fly different wing. Their first flight is never going to be on the Qubik, because like on the like a big Ozone, like appropriate for the size, but it's like something that is nice and soft, a lot of lift for takeoff, super soft on landing. So and then they fly the APCO, the Thrust 5, and then eventually the Link 2 and the Qubik. A lot of two of my students now, with about 15 hours, upgraded from their old wing that they first initially used, to help them find the right wing for them and something that was like worthy and safe and everything. They upgraded to the Qubik just probably like a week or two ago, and they've been flying with it. One of them has had the Qubik from day one. So he started on the wing that we have at school with the Ozone, and then eventually when he graduated, he bought his Sky 150, and then the Qubik. So the Sky 150 has a lot of power, and it really is brutal. Like from 0 to 100, like there's a lot of thrust behind it. So for new students, it can be a little tricky. People are like, oh, you can't put them on the Sky 150, but you can. We do a lot of power management when we train, so they get used to the entire power band of the engine. And then at first, before that, they fly the mini plane to begin with. Then they fly either a Monster 185 or a Nitro 200 in training. So they fly all those different engines, and then eventually, most of them have jumped to the Sky 150.
Interesting. It's always neat to hear what some instructors want or think is really good for their students. There's some questions in the chat that we're going to get to in just a moment, but I do want to let you guys know that we have chase cams. My goodness, I need a better background. Chase cams. We got black, we got white. We're making throttles on the 3D printer, and we're going to start giving away our prototypes on the show every week that would like to try these things out and let us know what you think. And of course, they're a gift to you. You can keep them forever. Just let us know what you think about them and stuff like that. Who would be interested in testing out some of our throttles, chase cam? We also got a foot GoPro mount that we're doing on the 3D printer. So let us know if there's something that you want us to print out and try. We're even going to try to do some strobe lights, but it's all brand new. We got the 3D printer going. It's going nonstop, so this can be really fun. Let us know in the chat if you'd like to try out one of these things. Will, there was a couple of questions in the chat that you were going to ask.
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, how many languages do you speak? I saw you answered it, but
So yeah, as of now, I speak 4.
4. So
Yeah.
it's
Portuguese.
Spanish.
So Portuguese, that's my mother tongue, right? Portuguese. Then I learned French. And then I came here, learned English, and then when I started touring, I did a lot of Mexico touring and a lot of Asia. So back when I was going back and forth, 6 months in Mexico, 6 months in China, Hong Kong, and stuff like that. So Spanish is a lot similar to Portuguese. Like literally, you can speak full speed and now understand. And then so I picked up the language because it's so similar. So it was easy to kind of get with it. And then Cantonese, when I was in China, it was something you pick up as you go. Never read it. The reading was completely impossible. But I used to be able to kind of go in town and get food and kind of manage myself around in the country.
That's 5.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's it's like when you're there, you live. But now, I can say all the basic stuff. But I feel like if you drop me off in China right now, it'll probably take me like a couple of weeks to get back into the group. So for what I know, I can speak.
Just a couple of weeks, huh? Yeah, that's crazy.
No, I mean, it's actually 6 because you could go anywhere in the world and talk about paramotors because you speak paramotor, right?
Yeah.
Speaks paramotor.
Yeah.
It's called PPG I.
Man, that is very impressive. Wow.
Yeah, man. Tony Marzano wanted to know if what you think about the electric motor.
Listen, I think I personally love it. I've flown one, the SP140 twice. I love everything about it. The only thing I'm not a big fan of it is just the whole battery situation. You can buy another battery for I forgot the price. I don't know. I've heard $800 and I've heard $1,300. I don't know what's the right price. Then you can have 2 batteries. You can land and have another battery for sunset fight. But I like the convenience of obviously as long as your motor is running, but you just put gas in it and then you go from place to place and you can fly. But beside that, I have nothing against electric. I drive a Tesla everywhere. So, if anything, I'm like, okay, great. If I had enough battery to fly me for hours, because I like to fly and then land and then fly for 30 minutes and then land. I don't really do long cross country unless it's a specific trip that we have with a bunch of friends or whatever. But if it's just for myself, I'll just like to go up and down and up and down. That's what I do. Sometimes I go to the beach and I spend the entire day and I fly 10 minutes chunk of time and I land and just kind of relax on the beach and then think, do a little bit of videos and then go back up in the air. So, but I love it. I think it's a good, it's a great plus to the for the community to have that option.
Yeah, I flew that SP140 also, and it was amazing. It had more thrust than the Moster 185 that I fly. I believe it's $1,200 for the hour-long battery and $800 for the half-an-hour battery.
That's why
I think that's what it is. But yeah, it has a lot of thrust. And if you just go up and you just want to go up for an hour, man, that's pretty awesome. And if you like to buzz up and go down and you don't like to do maintenance on your motor, that is amazing. That right there is worth it. I'd get 2 batteries. I'd go up for an hour, come back down, go up for another hour. I'm good. There's my 2 hours. I'm happy. But I'm like you. I like to do long distance. I like to do cross countries. Have you thought about maybe doing the Icarus?
Not really.
No?
Not really. You know, it's like the one reason why I don't try, I try not to do long trips like that is obviously you need to be committed to it. It's, you know, it's a lot of work. And, you know, and I have my 2.5 years, like, you know, my 2.5 years old daughter, and I love to be around her, you know, so it's kind of hard to combine both because she's too young for me to take her with me at this point. I'm about to take her for her first flight soon. Probably within the next 6 months, you know, I'm going to do paragliding first to get her into it. I've been doing some kiting with her, kind of hooked up on I have a small harness. I go on a beach. I have like extension for my brake toggle, and I'm pretty much kiting her up in the air, you know, like 2 feet off the ground, but you know, it's a vibe. And so eventually I'm going to do some bunny hill with her, paragliding with the tandem setup that I have. And then, you know, I want to get her into paramotoring. So I'm building her a helmet right now. I'll make the video. I'm making the video for it, a full helmet, paramotor helmet for her. So she's not afraid to fire now, but that's, you know, that's my point. So as she gets older, maybe I'll be, you know, able to do more stuff. But for now, yeah, it's too much of a commitment, I'd say.
Okay. That's interesting. Anybody else have any questions on the panel? Was there any questions in the chat that I missed? And Mad Sloper said 1,500 for the battery, I guess. Maybe it's more expensive now that we've had the COVID for a year or so. I don't know. Let's take a look. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if my internet froze again. It always freezes on me at the wrong time. Let's see. Angela, let's see. What was that? I was looking for something. Oh, Jack says send a chase cam. I'll break it. Okay, I guess we can do that. Yeah, that sounds good. Anybody else said something about that? Hot Butter Steve says I'm not a fan of those shuttlecocks. They kind of do look like a huge shuttlecock, don't they? Let's see. That's badminton. Shuttlecock. All right. It's a real word. Let's see. Anybody else wanted anything? Wise guy said, I'll test the chase cam and throttle. Okay. Anybody else? That's it? Just 2 people want to try it? All right.
Yeah, I
I'll
mean,
test the chase cam.
All right.
Do you have it set up for a cell phone, to hold a cell phone?
Anything that you want. I mean, we can print any type of thing. Whatever you guys want to try. I mean,
I want
I
one.
already told you, Jim, I'm not sending nothing else to Canada, dude.
I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it.
Man, I don't know, man. It was like $500 just to send you a T-shirt. It was expensive.
Is it worse to send something to Canada
I'll
than
go
to
get the
Australia?
bill.
It'd be cheaper for me to send you somebody else's chase cam through Amazon.
yeah, right. I still have to test out Eric Lear's chase cam that he sent to me. So
Oh yeah.
yeah. We'll see how that goes.
What color did he get you?
Red and black. It matched my wing.
Ah, I only have 2 colors right now. I got white and black. I haven't tested the other colors yet. I just got it. I'm still trying things. I also got this. It's a baby Yoda. It's a baby Yoda with a phone holder. So a phone holder with a baby Yoda. Isn't that adorable? I'm going to paint it. It's going to be adorable. Absolutely beautiful.
How about your spaceship? Didn't you have a Star Wars?
Oh, dude. So check this out. I printed out.
Millennial Falcon.
Can you see it? There it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I got that. And then I decided to print out a white one since I got some white filament. So I got 2 of these. Who's Star Wars fans? Who wants one of these things? They're pretty cool. Let me know. You got my cell number. You know, text me and let me know if you want one.
How long did that take to print?
Holy crap! 35 hours.
Dang.
What?
Yeah. Well, I did 100%. I did a better fill than what they said. I think they said they want to do like a a 30% fill, and I think I did like 80% fill because I didn't want anything to break. Because it has little gun turrets and stuff like that. So I was like, I don't want nothing to break on these things. And I got these, and I'm like putting them all around, and I got little, I got some little cat ones and little dog ones I printed out too. They're, I'm sorry, they're adorable. I like little adorable things. Come on, I'm Grandpa. All right.
So Eric's building me the mounts for my skis to go on my trike.
Yeah, how's that working?
I don't know if you saw his picture. He got his skis put on his trike today, and it's 41 hours each mount, and the extra is like, so it'll take like a week and a half or whatever to get these done. But then he's etching in flying flamingo in each of the mounts also, and they're gonna be pink.
Oh, like a flamingo.
Yep.
Yeah,
He just
3D
started
print will
on-
speed up. I remember when Napster used to take all night to download 3 songs, but things are a lot faster now. So I'm pretty sure 3D print will speed up some.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be like the Star Trek, thingy that I'm thinking about. What is that? You know what I'm talking about. Sorry, Grandpa brain fart. You know what I'm talking about.
Say it again. Say what you just said again.
No, I'm just not gonna say it no more. I don't know.
Death Star?
Huh? No.
Death Star?
No, when
The
you
big thing with 4 legs that walks.
no. Like on Star Trek, when they want a cup of coffee or something, it just.
Teleporter?
Microwave?
No.
Oh yeah, because they have microwaves on Star Trek.
Replicator.
Replicator, that's it. That big word. Jeez, my God, my poor grandpa brain just farted out itself. It's horrible. All right. What other questions do we have? Anything else since we've been kind of getting off the paramotor trek? Oh, Brian has to go. Wait a minute. Brian has to go, so we'll have to say goodbye to Brian. Brian Waller, thank you so much for hanging with us.
Hey, Danielo, man, it was great having you on as a guest and hearing your story, man, for sure. Hopefully one day when I get back out to the West Coast, man, we can share the skies together.
Whenever you're ready, come around. I got you guys.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
All right. Peace out, guys. Good night.
Bye.
Right.
Anybody else have to leave? I know that JP usually has to leave at about this time.
Yeah, I gotta head out too. I just want to say thank you, Daniela.
Thanks, brother.
Awesome, dude. Definitely gonna have to catch a flight sometime.
Now, Brett, you know that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, dude. Really appreciate it. Yeah, and real quick, since I still got it pulled up here, if you guys haven't gone over to his pages yet, go check him out. What do we got? We got the STAYBAD site here. Check him out on Instagram, YouTube, on the Face Space. Yeah. So thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight, dude.
Thank you.
I'm sure we'll see you around. All right, guys, I'm out. Take care.
Thank you, JP. Appreciate you, buddy. And then there are 6.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions? Was there any questions in the chat?
What's the
The only-
website again? For
Huh?
STAYBAD? What is STAYBAD's website?
STAYBADparamotor.com or STAYBADppg.com.
Bill H had a question, and I don't know if we got to that.
All right. What was it?
It was a question for Daniela. So where do you see yourself like in the sport in the next 5 years?
Oh yeah, so I mean, for that, I just want to build a community in LA. I mean, in California, build a community, and then eventually I want to work with the whole STAYBAD movement. Where the idea is like it sounds negative, like STAYBAD, but I want to bring the opposite. Like even though it means beyond a definition, people first thing to see STAYBAD is like, oh yeah, what's up with that, but it's really to bring the community up in where I am at right now in California, and try to work with different sponsors, and different brands that I work with, such as Niviuk, Helix, and stuff like that. They're supportive on so many aspects of what I do and what, the paramedic community in general. So they are willing to help out and to push different projects that I'm working on eventually, which is just to kind of like open up the sports for more people. That would be, I want to have like a sort of like, not a festival, but kind of like a 2 days tandem flight for people that have no experience in the sport at all. So it wouldn't be a thing that would be like, that will be pushing any sort of sales. It will be more introduction to the sport itself. So there's places like Oxnard. I'm working with the city of Ventura County to see if we can have that sort of event, like for like a day or two. And we just have selected school and pilots that will come and then offer tandem flights to literally to like, I'm talking about random people, like, someone that's been wanting to fly or someone that has no idea what flying is about, that is excited about it, just to kind of have those events. Or they have this for volleyball here in Santa Monica, or for anything else, for yoga or for cycling. So we can have the same thing for paramotor, but just like really structure and that will promote the sport. So that's what I'm working on right now. It's hard because they're big cities and, it's hard to get to the bottom of it, with the right person. So that's the goal, in 5 years, I feel like it's reasonable to be able to do that.
Right on.
All right. Well, it's 8:36. We definitely appreciate you. I know that we could probably talk all night long, but I know that you probably got to get while the getting's good. But we can talk a little bit after the show. So how about we say goodbye, good night to everybody that's been watching us. We definitely appreciate everybody that been asking questions. Was there any more questions or anything in the panel or in the super chat before we head on out? If not, Danielo, thank you so much for joining us. We definitely appreciate you, buddy. Tell us one more time about how we can find you and a little bit about your school.
STAYBAD Paramotor, we do one-on-one class, unlimited class. We'll take you to different LZs, and you're done training when you feel like you're completely done training and you don't need to text me or call me, or when you don't feel insecure about flying on your own. STAYBADParamotor.com, STAYBAD Paramotor on Instagram, and Danielo STAYBAD or STAYBAD Paramotor anywhere, like on Google, on YouTube. I mean, either way, you type one, you'll find everything else.
But the cool thing is that it's forever, right? I mean, once you're a student, you can come back and go XC with you, go to different LZs, hang out with you at any time that you fly, right?
Yeah, we have a group text where literally like every time I go fly and I have a class with people that already flown, hey, we're going to be here at this time, this location. And then most of the time, everybody show up. And then we have a big, full day of like, old student, new student, and, experienced pilot coming all together and just flying all together.
That is really super awesome. Definitely appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We also had Will Fly from willflyppg.com. JP Tulo, he's our TikTok Tulo. You always find him at jptulo.com. Flying Flamingo Jade has a show every Wednesday night. You can find her at paramotorgirl.com. And every Tuesday night, her husband has a show hanging out with paramotor people hanging out. Something about Tuesday night hangouts with Eric Lear. You can find him at ppglear, lear.com. Jim Senard, he definitely helps us out with prints, calendars from paramotorcalendar.com. He does decals. His money smells like maple syrup. Get up with him at carepp.com or watch his shenanigans at careppg.com. And of course, our wonderful Linda Anderson from ParamomUSA.com. Go over and check her out. ParamomUSA.com forwards over to her Facebook page. And if you want to be on our show, just say, yo, Linda, you're beautiful. How do I get on PPG Grandpa's Paramotor podcast?
That's right.
And once again, thank you very much, Danielo Mendes. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And you guys don't go nowhere. We're going to cut off the live show, but we're going to hang out for a couple minutes just to talk privately. If you're on our guest chat, you already know how to get on here. Jump on here and let's chat for a couple minutes before we all have to go to bed. I know I'm Grandpa, and I need to go to bed here in about 20 minutes. And if I don't, my wife is going to say, you better get to bed. Is the door shut? Did she hear me? I love you, baby. All right. Y'all have a great evening. I totally appreciate you. And thank you again, Danielle. You're awesome.
Chatters.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. And we're going to say goodbye to our audio stream. and goodbye to everybody on the internet. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow at ppglear.com, Wednesday at paramotorgirl.com, and Thursday at, where was that again, Linda?
Paraglidingtalk.com.
All right.